Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing another episode of my favorite series ever. I love filming these videos. It's a full face of nothing new. So basically I get to just enjoy the products that I already have, maybe dip into some things that I haven't used in a very long time, such as the Too Faced Sweet Peach eyeshadow palette. I found this in my drawer and I was like, oh my gosh, I should totally use this on my channel. It has been way too long. This palette is pretty old. I don't know if it's expired, but we're gonna be using it. So there's also a bunch of other things that I'm really excited to try out. When I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to film today, I didn't really want to do a review, even though there's some new stuff that I do want to try, but I feel like I did that in the last couple of videos. And then I was thinking of specific products that I really wanted to wear today, and then it dawned on me, like, just do a full face of nothing new, and I like gathered all these products so fast because I knew exactly what I wanted to wear. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's just hop right into it. I'm going to clip my hair back first, and then we'll start with complexion. I'm wanting to do the skin first, so we'll prep that. Okay, so hair's clipped back. We're gonna go ahead and start off. I don't know why, but I have been dying to use my Charlotte Tilbury products to prep my complexion recently, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start off with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum. This is a pretty bougie serum, and I feel like I just don't get around to using it as much as I would like to. So I'm just gonna take a few drops of that, and I'm going to apply it all over my skin, just blending it in with my fingertips. And then of course, I've also been wanting to use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorite brands to follow for like inspiration for makeup. I just feel like her aesthetic is so similar to mine, and I have adapted her aesthetic in a way. I love how she does makeup, and I also love following her niece, Sophia. I'll have her Instagram down below. It's my favorite when she makes like IGTV tutorials. I watch every single minute of every single one, and I always get so inspired. And they always prep everyone's skin with the magic cream. So every time I watch one of those videos, it makes me want to pull out the magic cream again. So I'm just spreading that out and then kind of pressing the excess into the skin. Okay, for foundation, I really wanted to use this again today. This is not a new product on my channel, but that's the point of this series. It's the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. This is $5 from Dollar General. I don't know how it is $5 because it performs better than so many of my high-end foundations, truly. It is amazing. I use the shade, what shade is this? Nude. I'm just gonna take that on a foundation brush and start just kind of pressing this into the complexion just until it's spread out pretty evenly. And then I'm going to take a damp sponge. I'm going to be using my sponge from Thrive Cosmetics. I'm taking what's left on the back of my hand and then going in with the sponge all over the complexion and just pressing it into the skin. Something is pilling up on my face. I tried a new sunscreen out today, and then I applied the Charlotte Tilbury products on top, which could probably be the issue. So I'm kind of trying to work with what I'm seeing. It's happening pretty bad on my cheek over here. So I'm trying not to swipe as much as press to hopefully avoid that. But lesson learned, I should probably only apply magic cream before a sunscreen. Or maybe just use a different sunscreen. I don't know. It's okay though. We will make it work. All right, for concealer, it's been a little while since I've used this, although it is a little bit newer to me in my collection. It's the Pixie Concealer. This is the Pat Away Concealing Base, and I have mine in the shade Cream. I love the applicator on this. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this underneath the eyes. And I think that's actually all I'm gonna do. I've been kind of into only applying under eye concealer and then leaving the rest of my complexion alone, even if I have some blemishes that are still kind of showing through. I think it just makes everything look more natural that way. So it's something I've been doing recently. I'm gonna take what's left on the sponge and just kind of pat out any discoloration on the eyelids with the leftover concealer. Okay, so for powder, I really wanted to use the Thrive Cosmetics Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD powder. Every time I use this, I'm absolutely floored, and I actually picked it up the other day and was reminded of how amazing it is, so that's kind of why I wanted to use it in this video. So I'm gonna set the concealer around the eyes, especially the eyelids, to kind of prep it for eyeshadow. And then I'm gonna take a larger brush and use that to set the rest of the face. And I do take a little bit of a lighter amount for the perimeter of the face, just because I don't usually get oily on the sides of my face, but I do want the coverage to stay since I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation. So that's why I like to use a little bit of powder, but I focus most of the powder or put more in the T-zone. And that just helps me with my oils throughout the day so they don't get too crazy. I need a lip balm. I meant to apply it a long time ago. Where did I put that? Okay, I'm gonna apply the Patrick Ta lip balm. This is the She's Juicy Major Glow Softening Lip Mask. I just need something on the lips while I finish the rest of my makeup. It's kind of nice. It tastes minty, which I really like. All right, so we'll leave that on the lips. We are going to warm up the complexion with another Thrive Cosmetics product. This is the Blur and Sculpt Bronzing Powder in the shade Rhea, and I'm going to take this on a fluffy brush. This is one of my all-time favorite bronzers, and it's just been too long since I've used it. And I'm just going to start to kind of warm up the cheeks. I'm going to apply a little bit on the forehead as well, and of course along the jawline, and then I'm taking what's left and dragging that down the neck. I'm going back in with the brush that we used for the powder around the perimeter of the face, and I like to do this to just kind of blend in any harsh lines. I mean, that bronzer pretty much blends itself out, so I usually don't have to worry about that, but I just like it to look seamless, you know? I don't want people to see clear lines along my jaw or on my forehead. So it always helps to kind of blend it with the brush that I use with powder. I think it's really helpful. I've been dying to use this again. This is the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush Palette in the shade 01 Daria. This has been on sale at Sephora for months, and I don't know why it's on sale, but I'm not complaining. It's like 50% off all the time, but it's been there forever, so I don't know if they're discontinuing it or if they're just keeping it on sale. Regardless, it is one of my favorite palettes ever. I mentioned this in my Best of Beauty video. It's just so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of the cream blush shade at the top, and I'm taking this on the bottom of my sponge, and then I'm gonna kind of press it into the back of my hand first. This just kind of helps diffuse the product into the sponge first before you actually go in and apply it to your face, which I find is very helpful. So now after I've done that, I know that the product is evenly distributed, so I'm just gently pressing this onto the cheeks. And since I've already set my face with powder, I'm trying to be even more gentle, and especially trying not to kind of swipe as much as I am just pressing this into the skin so we don't remove any of the products underneath. I'm gonna take this up a little bit higher. I'm just feeling like having a very pink flushed complexion, so same thing on this side. And I don't know, I just like that look sometimes. If you're going to wear blush, I like to just kind of sometimes take it up around the temples a little bit. I think it looks really pretty and kind of gives a more soft and romantic effect. It's just such a pretty blush. I love this stuff so much. Next, I'm gonna go in with the powder blush underneath, and I'm gonna take this on a fluffy brush, tap off the extra, and layer this on top of just the apples of the cheeks. This is gonna intensify it, so I'm just taking like the smallest amount to kind of set the cream. And then I'm going in with the Glow Extreme highlighter, and I'm going to apply that in a C shape on the high points of the face. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff as well, but it's so beautiful. And I feel like it just kind of melts into the cream products and makes it look like your skin is just lit from within, which is my favorite. I'm gonna take some of that down the center of the nose and on the Cupid's bow. I do always like to take a tiny bit of the Duo Glow at the top, which is like a lavender gold shift. And I'll take that on the other side of this Persona Cosmetics blush brush. And I'm just gonna kind of put that on the apples of the cheeks. And it's got a little bit of a highlighter to it, so it's really gonna make the complexion glow, but it also has a really cool, yeah, just lavendery type undertone, which I love. So I'm just going over everything with my sponge to make sure things are nice and blended. But I just love that palette. If you want that glass skin effect, it's seriously one of the best cheek palettes for a high gloss kind of glow. And if you're into blush too, then I think you'd really love this as well. So pretty, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go into my Milani Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the brows, and then we will do an eye look using the Too Faced palette. It's been so long. I feel like I'm so happy with how the complexion looks that I honestly would have been happy just applying some mascara and like a pink gloss to finish off this look, but I really do want to use this eyeshadow palette, so that's what we're gonna do. It still smells so good. I'm actually surprised that the fragrance has lasted this long. It's a pretty old palette, but it smells amazing. Okay, I'm gonna take the shade Georgia, which is a light pink, kind of a matte shade, and I'm gonna start off with this just in the crease of the eye as my transition shade. I wanna know if you guys own this palette still, and if you do you guys use this palette? So I feel like it was a whole thing for a while there. I feel like so many people had this palette, and now I just don't hear anyone talking about it. I'm gonna take that same shade and just kind of put a little bit of that along the lower lash line. Okay, next, I'm gonna take the brighter pink shade called Caramelized right here. It's kind of a matte, but there's a little bit of shimmer in it. And I'm gonna use this to kind of start to deepen up the outer edge of the lid. I'm kind of applying it on like the outer third and then bringing a little bit into the crease as well. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that along the outer third of the lower lash line. I feel like we should use the shade Just Peachy right here. It kind of has a duochrome the same way that shade in the Natasha Denona palette. Like it almost looks like it's the same idea as that duochrome highlighter blush in the Natasha Denona palette I just used. So I'm gonna use this all over the lid today. You know what's crazy? I feel like I wore this all the time, and it could be that it's just like an older palette. So maybe my personal palette has kind of dried out a little bit, but I feel like eyeshadow formulas in general have improved so much just over the past couple of years even. Like the shimmer shades are so good now in even drugstore palettes. And I feel like this is pretty, but it's just not as buttery as some of my other eyeshadow palettes that I own. Again, it literally could be the fact that this is such an old palette. Maybe it's just dried out over time. I do want to make sure to use the shade Luscious. It's one of my favorite shades. Oh, see, this one is so buttery. I love this shade so much. I'm going to apply this in the inner third and kind of blend it out. Just using my finger again. I love this shade. I think it's so pretty. I'm wanting to dip into Just Peachy again, which was that duochrome pink shade that we put on the lids. I'm taking a flat brush with this, and I'm going to spray the brush with the setting spray just to make sure that it doesn't get everywhere, and I'm going to kind of line the lower lash line with this. I just think that duochrome kind of peachy pink gold would look so cool, a little more intense on that lower lash line. So I'm really building this up from outer corner all the way to the inner corner. Yeah, I think that looks really cool. Okay, we're gonna take my powder brush, my smaller powder brush, and just sweep away any fallout. I also found this right here that I thought I would maybe apply on top. I think I'm going to. This is the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadow in the shade Cupid Glaze. Such a good one and done shadow, honestly. Like you would not even need to use an eyeshadow palette underneath. But I feel like it's gonna really match with the vibe we have going on here. So I put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna kind of press that onto the eyelid for a little extra sparkle. Okay, I really like how that looks. I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara on the top and bottom lashes. Somehow I managed to get mascara here, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm just adding a little more blush with whatever's left on the blush brush. Okay, now I'm gonna go on to lips. I really wanted to use my M Cosmetics Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner in the shade Bunny. I'm hoping that this works. It's just a really pretty pink shade. I'm kind of patting away some of the lip balm, and then I'm going to line and fill in the lips with this. I feel like this look is really taking me back. I think maybe it's the eyeshadow palette, because I used to wear monochromatic peach looks on a daily basis. So this is totally just taking me back to when I used to do that. Okay, I need to find a spoolie to try to get this off. Might just need to kind of press over it with my sponge. Yeah, I mean, you can still kind of see it, but that's okay. All right, and then I wanted to use my Thrive Cosmetics lip gloss. This is such a fun kind of gold pink shifty gloss, which I thought would be perfect with the eyeshadow and then the blush palette. This is called Effie, and I'm just gonna apply this right on top of that lip liner. I wore this gloss on its own the other day and loved it, so I was really excited to use it on camera again. It's so pretty. Okay, let's step back and assess the situation. I feel like I want more pink on my eyes, but I think I'm gonna add that from the blush palette actually. I'm gonna take the powder blush and I'm just going to apply this kind of on that outer portion just to add a teensy bit more pink into the eyes, because I feel like it's leaning a little bit peachy, obviously, from the peach palette. I just want a little more pink. I'm also going to take the Glow Extreme powder, which was the highlighter that I used, and I'm going to apply that in the inner corner of my eye as my inner corner highlight. And I'm taking what's left and applying it underneath the brow bone as well. I'm gonna go in with my bronzer brush and just kind of warm things up a little more. I think I am gonna take a little bit more product and apply it to the forehead and a little across the center of the face and along the jawline. Going back in with the blush brush, not adding any more product, but just kind of brightening up the apples of the cheeks. And then I'm going to set the face. I wanted to use this because it's been so long. The Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 Mist, which is a really nice dewy setting spray. I'm just going to spray that all over. I'm not going anywhere today, so I don't mind if I'm like a little extra dewy. I feel like that's what this look needs. It's just like extreme dewy skin. So I went a little overboard on the setting spray, but that's okay. Just letting that dry. And then of course I'm going to take my sponge and just press everything down one more time. I'm also going to take what's left on the powder brush and just make sure that the forehead and sides of the nose, smile lines and chin and tip of the nose aren't insanely dewy. I'm just using what's left on the brush instead of actually using powder. Then I'm going to take my Milani, the Clear Brow Gel is what it's called. Basically super glue for your brows. And I'm going to run this through the brows to lock them in place. Okay, let's take my hair down. Okay, so here's the finished look. It's definitely very, very fresh. I love the complexion. I'm so happy that I reached for my Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette again. Also really happy about the Believe Beauty foundation as always. It's so amazing. The eyeshadow was fun. I feel like it was fun to reach back into my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I will say again, I was reminded of just how far eyeshadows have come. I really do feel like there's a lot better out there now, but it was kind of nostalgic for me to use this anyway, so I enjoyed it. I really love how everything turned out. It's exactly what I was going for. So I hope you guys enjoyed the look. I hope you enjoyed seeing me reuse some of the products that I already own. I would love to know in the comments if you guys still use some of these products or in the future, because I love to do these full face of nothing new videos. I'd love to see what other products you would like to see me use. Like, is there an eyeshadow palette that nobody talks about anymore that you still love and use that you would like to see me use again? Leave that in the comments down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I truly hope you guys enjoyed this look. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!